الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من عمل صالحا من ذكر او انثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياه طيبه. Whoever does a good action from a male or a female, as long as he is a believer, فلنحيينه حياه طيبه. We will give him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in Surah Al-Nahl, will give him a good life. وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And will give them the best reward, will give them a reward due or according to the best of their actions. And that's where the حياة طيبة, happy life, good life is what we all want. We all change our jobs to get more money. To do what with the money? Just to stack it up and look at it? Because we think that with that money we will be able to be happier. We get what we want and we'll be happy. Everyone, why do we want to expand our houses? So that we have more room and we are happy. So the money is only a means for happiness. We want to look, inshallah, a study that was made in Harvard. Study went to over 75 years. They wanted to understand what makes people happy. Well, life is full of problems, trials and tribulations, whether the person is a believer or non-believers. So they had a study over 75 years and they studied 720 people. Of them, 60 out of the 720 is still alive. And it's remarkable. Never ever has been there a study that went over this period of time and still remained alive. It had 4 directors and each one of them is still motivated. I need to get to the point, inshallah. Okay, so what did they do? They surveyed 720 people. They take their blood samples, they look what they are young, they looked at their health, they made check-up and what have you, and they went and interviewed their parents as well. And every 2 years, they would repeat the same test, the same survey. They would send them a questionnaire, and every 5 years they will call them up again or will go and see them. And they divided the 720 into 2 groups. One extremely poor, destitute, from Boston, and the other ones are people who are studying in Harvard. So some representing very poor, and some representing affluent society. They found that there are some people who climbed the social ladder. Some people came from extremely poor, and they went up all the way to the top. And use their words, some people made the journey in the reverse. They were doing well before and they went down. They found that some people became alcoholics. Some people had serious problems. And they tried to analyze what are the lessons. 3 lessons they found from that study. The first one is they found that social connections are really good for the psychology and the medical state of a person. Social connection are extremely important. Social connection is not Facebook connections. Social connection, what they are referring to is face-to-face, interacting with people, okay? They find that people who have this thing, they were able to have better life and they are happier, and amazingly, because they are happier, it also affected their medical state. The second lesson is they talked about marriages and relationship between husband and wife, between spouses. And they found that high conflict marriages without much affection turn out to be extremely bad for human beings. If somebody has they refer to that as a toxic marriage. If somebody has a toxic marriage, this is a disastrous, both for the psychology and the medical state of the person. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to make up. Don't aggravate it to get to a point like that. Let go. They found also that the worst thing that people do is to hold a grudge. They found that the grudge that people hold against each other is the biggest destruction to their health and their well-being, both psychologically and in terms of medical. What are we supposed to do? Forgive and let go. Forgive and let go, and don't be isolated. They found that loneliness, apparently 20% of people in the United States reported to be lonely. And that the result of loneliness is loss of memory, and they become old, and they become more, their health is far less than the people who are socially connected. And subhanallah, it's an excellent talk. If there is a site called the TED.com, TED.com, and they get the top scientists and the top researchers in the world, and they invite them. Tremendous. In 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll get the outcome of somebody who's doing a study for 75 years. Nothing can be simpler than that. Highly recommended that you try to look at that site, TED.com, and look at this, what will make us happy. And so they are asking, why is it that people don't do that if it is so simple and so easy? And they opine, the researchers opine, that actually the majority of people now want an easy fix. Hello, can I have a pizza? Yes, it will be within 10 minutes. Happiness is not like that. Happiness and relationship and social relationship with people, you have to work at it and work at it and work at it and work at it. And you'll make mistakes and they make mistakes and you have to forgive. And you have to forgive. There has to be forgiveness from both sides. And we have to recognize if there is a problem in a relationship, that it's never one person. As they say, it takes two to tango. As it takes two to tango, it also takes two to make a problem. The only issue is how much is the proportion that is attributed to this person and how much the proportion of that problem is attributed to the person. Then that goes, is it 50-50 or 30-70 or whatever? But if there is a problem, both parties have had played a part in causing this problem. And we need to learn how to let go. When a person has a grudge against somebody, it destroys him or her. It destroys the person who has a grudge. And subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the best practical example to get rid of these grudges, to have social interaction. Now you have lots of people who complain about being lonely. How many times we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can hear and is aware of our prayer when we pray at home? Yes or no? Yes, 100%. Allah is aware of the 4 million people praying in Mecca. Why does